ladies and gentlemen, to our next episode of 21 Questions here on the Vanguard Athletics Podcast Network. My name is Mariah, your host as always. I am an intern in the Vanguard Athletics Media Office, and tonight I am joined by Grace Roberts. She's going to be answering 21 questions randomly selected, and we are super excited that she's here. Grace, do you want to introduce yourself before we get going?
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Grace Roberts. I'm a member of the women's track and field team, and I'm currently a sophomore at Vanguard.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some of these questions. All right, first question, if you could only live in one, outdoors or indoors, what would you choose?
I would probably have to say indoors. I love the outdoors, but living outside with all the bugs and just other creatures would be kind of scary, so I think I'd choose indoors.
Good choice. All right, next question. What age do you wish you could permanently be?
What age? Oh, wow. I would have to say probably mid-20s. I feel like 25 might be good.
Okay.
Because it's you're not super old, but you're not young either. You're kind of right there in the middle of your prime. So I think 25 would be my pick.
Yes, I'd have to agree. I think 24 I feel like that's my sweet spot right there. All right, next question. Do you think it's better to know a lot about one thing or a little bit about everything?
I personally like knowing just a little bit about everything, because then I feel like you could say you're a more well-rounded person. If you know a lot about one thing, then you can tell people about that one thing. But if you know a lot about a bunch of different things, you can kind of have small talk with different people about different things. So I would say know a lot about little things.
Yes, I 100% agree. Good answer. All right, Grace, any irrational fears?
I would have to say my one, I think it's kind of fair, but it's also kind of irrational. I hate getting my blood drawn. Every time I get it drawn, I feel like it's kind of normal for a person to not want to get stabbed with the needle and get blood drawn. But I cannot deal with it. Anytime I have to go get that done, I have to hype myself up and be it's gonna be okay. I have to look away. I can't even look at it or anything. So that would probably be my irrational fear.
Oh my gosh, me too. I have never been able to look at it. Every time I always have to turn away.
Yeah.
All right, question number 5. What do you dislike but have no good reason for disliking?
That's an interesting question. I have no idea. I'm not the type of person to really just dislike things. I don't know.
I feel like mine is the word moist. I have no reason to dislike it. I just know I do.
I'd have to agree. That word is just kind of weird. I'd probably just say that as well.
All right, Grace, if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
I've been asked this question before, and I can't remember what I usually answer with. It would probably be an Andy Mineo song.
Mm.
And the one that comes to mind at the moment is Coming In Hot by Andy Mineo, and it has Lecrae in it as well.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a good hype song that would describe me entering a room or something like that. Most definitely.
Definitely. That's a good walk-up song too. All right.
Yeah.
If you won the lottery tomorrow, what would be your first purchase?
If I won the lottery tomorrow, my first purchase would probably be a new house for my family. We've lived in the same house for we lived in the same house for about 5 years now, and we're kind of honestly used to moving around a bit. So this has kind of been different for us being in this house for so long. But most definitely a new house, and then probably a new car.
Yeah. That you thought you would have grown out of, but you haven't.
I'll be honest and say that I have a blanket that I had when I was a kid. And I can't like sleep without it. It's just nice to have that blanket there.
Yeah.
So that's something I thought I'd grow out of, but I didn't. So
That's a good answer. All right. Any favorite foods?
favorite foods. One of my aunts makes a really good like a casserole mac and cheese, and she makes it for like every family party we have, and it's really good.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
like a ton of
That sounds
cheese,
good.
and it's just perfect.
Oh, that sounds so good. I'm hungry for dinner. All right.
Yeah.
What app do you visit the most on your phone?
It would have to be TikTok.
Yeah.
I really enjoy dancing and watching those silly videos. So I like TikTok and then probably Instagram next.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right. Do you have a dream destination that you'd like to travel to eventually?
Definitely Japan. So I am part Japanese. I'm black, white, and Japanese. So my Japanese is from my dad's side, and I've just always wanted to go to Japan and like see what it's like there, see where my grandma grew up, and just like immerse myself in the culture there because I haven't been able to do that. Unfortunately, my grandparents died before I was born, so I never got to meet her. So I think going to Japan would be a way to just kind of connect to her, even though she's already passed. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, you gave me goosebumps. That's awesome. All right. Any pets while you were growing up?
When I was really little, I had a pet fish. It was a betta fish. I remember it being like blue and purple, but that's it. I haven't had any other pets growing up, just me and my two siblings. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No dogs. How interesting.
Yeah, I want a dog, but we just like all my siblings are in sports, so it's kind of like we pay for that instead of having a pet.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that. What's the worst job you've ever had?
So I actually just got my first job when quarantine started.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
currently in a yeah. When quarantine hit and we had to go home, I was like, now's the perfect time to get a job. So I got a job at a grocery store, and I I can't say it was my worst job, actually. It was really nice, but I transitioned out of that job into the job I am in now, which is at a tanning salon. And I would have to say that's my worst job, just because it's insane. Like we sell tanning products and things like that, and so my manager, is like, oh, just tell them this, and that, and so you kind of have to be a little like just try to sell the product to the person, and it's not like my favorite thing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, that sounds hard.
Yeah.
All right. What's the furthest you've been from home?
Furthest I've been from home would either have to be either Las Vegas or Lake Havasu. Those are the only two places I've traveled like really far from home.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas was because my brother had a basketball tournament, and then the other two times I went to Lake Havasu with friends to the river.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, hopefully you'll be able to travel with the track and field team in these upcoming years.
I hope so.
Yeah, they always do cool trips. Is there any food that you absolutely hate?
Majority of vegetables, actually.
Okay.
Interesting enough, I am a very picky eater. However, I just became vegetarian
Oh my
and
gosh.
I gave up meat recently. Just wanted to try a different diet out. My mom had shown us some documentaries over quarantine, just kind of like talking about the meat industry, and it was just a little like, oh, okay. So I'm trying to eat a little bit better and just eat products that are better for me. And so I like a lot more vegetables now, but there's still vegetables I just cannot eat.
Yes, I agree 100%. If time froze for everybody except for you, what would you do?
I would probably like go visit the beach and then like an amusement park and ride all the rides
Yeah.
and like skip the wait in line.
Yeah.
I guess just like visit places that are high touristy kind of, because then everyone else will be still and I can actually kind of like appreciate the attraction itself.
Yes. I feel like museums would be so cool to go.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. All right. Question 16. What is the best thing that happened to you last week?
Best thing that happened to me last week. I would have to say that I had a really good training week. Training at home has been different. I haven't been able to hang out with my team and just get motivation from them, and so I've had to just run on my own. However, lately I've been doing a lot better. My times are looking pretty good right now, and I'm in a good spot, better than I have been last year. So that's pretty encouraging to see, because doing it at home by myself is different. So
Yeah.
I would say that would be the best thing that happened to me last week, was hitting my times.
That's awesome. What do you run in track?
So I'm kind of a long sprinter. I do the 200 and the 400, and I also participate in the 4x400.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't think I could ever do it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
my
right.
favorite.
Yeah. What is a skill that you'd like to learn?
A skill. I know a little bit of how to play the ukulele, so I think I would like to become better in that. I just think it's a really nice like instrument and it just sounds really pretty. So I'd like to learn more notes so that I can like play actual music.
That's awesome. All right, question 18. What is the last book that you read that you really loved?
That's I haven't read like a book for my enjoyment in a while. The only one that comes to mind was one I read in like middle school, and it was Soul Surfer. It was about Bethany Hamilton and her life. And I actually read that book a couple times because I just love her perseverance in that, and how she just displayed that. And I think it's just something to kind of look up to and have in your own life, is perseverance. And she's also a woman of faith, so that's awesome to see.
Yeah, she's definitely a good role model. She's awesome. All right, question number 20. We're almost done. What age do you feel right now and why?
What age do I feel?
Yes.
Probably like in my 50s or 60s. I just say that because a lot of my friends, I like old stuff, so I like listening to like 70s, 80s. I will even listen to like 50s music, and I just like doing things kind of old school. Like I would much rather be in the classroom right now, like writing in a notebook than typing everything online. Yeah. I like I said, old music, just doing things in old ways. I just think it's so much more fun that way. I feel like technology has kind of like changed a lot of that, and especially in this time, it's a lot different. So I would probably say like old, like 50s or 60s.
Yeah. I just say 50s because my back hurts, but yeah. All right. Question 21. It's a super easy one. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Favorite Disney movie would probably have to be Moana, just because I relate to her love for the ocean. As growing up, I've always loved the ocean, and I feel like that's a very typical like Cali resident type answer. But I think the ocean is just an awesome representation of like God's love for us. So that is why I love it so much, because it kind of just reminds you like, you're just one tiny person in God's huge plan, and his love is so vast, it's never ending, because you can look at the horizon, but it keeps going. It doesn't end right there. It just keeps going, and you don't know when it stops. So I just always really loved the ocean for that reason, because it's just a great representation of God. And that's why I really like the beach and going to it, because I can find my sense of peace there, because that's what it feels like.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And a great way to wrap up this podcast. Grace, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And
of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. And to all of our listeners, be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, we are proud to provide access through SoundCloud, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks so much, Grace, and good luck in your season.